Hi, and welcome to Tim's Tips. Today we're going to talk about maintenance, the part that you have to do on the JUKI DX series machines. Now there's just a couple of things we want to pay careful attention to when we're doing our maintenance ourselves, and it's really a simple process to take care of, but it's something you need to know about, and a lot of people kind of skim over their owner's books and they kind of miss a couple of little details that you need to pay careful attention to in order not to damage your machine. What we're going to cover today is good for the DX 2000 QVP, which is the model that we're filming with today, but it's also valid on the DX7 and the DX5 machines also. So first of all, we're going to take out our needle and we're going to remove our foot. Then we're going to pay attention to a little switch down here. So by the magic of video, I'm going to take out the needle, take off the foot, and I'm going to show you what we're going to talk about, that little switch down there. I'll be right back. For doing your own maintenance, everything you need is provided with the machine. So if you open up your accessory tray, you'll see you have a little lint brush and a screwdriver. And this screwdriver is what you'll need to use to take the two screws out, and the lint brush is what you'll use to remove the lint from inside the bobbin case and inside the hook area. So just pull those two items out of your tray and you'll be all set to take care of the maintenance. So as you can see, I removed my needle and I removed my foot. And the little switch I'm talking about is right here on the plate. And this is the switch that converts our zigzag plate to a straight stitch plate. So in order to make sure we're in the right position, we want to make sure that our zigzag is open. So if you've taken out the cover off your bobbin case and this switch right here is in front of that little dot, in other words, if it looks like that and the hole is closed so that you're on a straight stitch mode, you need to move this switch back over so that we're on the zigzag mode in order to carefully and safely remove this plate. Thanks to the magic of video again, hold on, and we're going to have this plate off simply by removing these two screws. Be back in a second. As you can see, I've removed the two screws and I've lifted the plate carefully up and out of the way. Now, why is this important? It's very important because this little mechanism right here, this little mechanism is what interacts with the sensors, which are right here in the machine. If this is engaged with the straight stitch mechanism, that is actually triggering the little sensor switch, and when you lift up on it, you might inadvertently damage that sensor switch. So you always want to make sure that you're in the zigzag mode when you take this plate off to do maintenance on your machine. Now the machine we're looking at today is one that's been used relatively a lot recently, so it's got some buildup in it. So as you can see, we can see there's a fair amount of lint floating around, but we need to check underneath our bobbin case also. So we're going to lift out our bobbin case, taking out our bobbin, and then we just pinch on the bobbin case and lift it straight up and out. Now you can see the bobbin case looks relatively clean, except it does have some dust on it, some lint on it if you would. So we're going to take our brush and we want to come in here and we want to brush off that lint. You can see it's already starting to collect on my little lint brush. I want to make sure I dust inside here as well, because this is where some people kind of forget. And there's a little felt piece in the bottom here. You want to try and keep that clean. That helps the bobbin float in there nice and smoothly. So once you've addressed your bobbin case, then you're going to come in here and you're going to address all the areas around. Now don't go digging in here. You don't want to go digging in there real tight. You just want to brush in so that you can collect off all of the little lint that you see floating around. Now, see, I'm gathering some in spots you probably wouldn't consider. This is behind the feed dogs. So you want to pay attention to them. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but in the feed dogs here, you can see I'm pushing out some lint that's caught in between. I'm going to just push this out and let it fall into the hook area there. Oh, it collected to the brush for me. You can see here, that's what gathered in between the feed dog teeth. You know what? That can cause you a problem if you get enough of it built up in there. So it's a good idea to keep your maintenance on routine. See, I'm just grabbing more and more and more. So if you keep your maintenance routine clean, you will avoid that issue. I know. So as you can see here, I've been doing some little cleaning around here. So you can see all this lint that was built up in the feed dogs and caught in underneath the bobbin case and around the outside area here. I've now brushed away with my little lint brush. Sometimes that little lint brush isn't enough and you need something that's got a little bit longer reach to it. So you can come out to one of the stores and you can get a nice bristle. Don't get one that's really firm. Too hard, they don't flex enough. You might be rubbing against springs or something down in there inadvertently and knock them off their little holders. So you want a brush that's soft, that can easily reach down. Remember, you're not jabbing down in there, you're just trying to get the lint out. If you have a real bad problem with the lint, then you might consider using a vacuum with your brush, just brushing it and using a vacuum to draw it out. You shouldn't really ever use air, because air is just going to take that lint that's floating up here on the surface and force it down inside the machine. Now, maintenance is something you'll want to keep in mind that you'll want to do frequently. The more you keep this area clean, the less you have to take it in for service. That doesn't mean the machine doesn't ever need to be serviced. It just means if I keep my area clean, if I do my part as the owner, then the serviceman doesn't need to do quite so much, and I will have less problems with my machine. Generally speaking, you'll need to do this type of maintenance every few months, unless you are a really active sewer or quilter, and that lint could build up a whole lot more than what you think it does. You might need to do it every 30 days. Beyond that, you should really have your machine looked at once a year or once every 2 years, once again, depending on how much sewing you do with your machine. If there's no oil provided with your machine generally doesn't need to be oiled by you. That's the serviceman's technical responsibility. I hope you find this video interesting. Check back with us as we post some more in the future. Have a great day.